All right, so, hi! I am not Dr. Pamela. I am Annie. Dr. Pamela is not feeling well. So today, May 6th, I'm going to be hosting Daily Space. Hooray! Yeah, so I have 3 stories for you, and not a whole lot else. So let's get at it. As, you know, I do the usual awkward switch thing. And I need to figure this out. Alright, so, first up, this is a quasar named Teacup. So, as a refresher for those of you and myself that aren't super familiar with all your astronomical terms, quasar is an active galaxy powered by material falling into its central supermassive black hole. So they are super bright, super bright. And this particular quasar was discovered in 2007 as part of the Galaxy Zoo project, which is another citizen science project, using data from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, which that's always a pretty cool thing. So the ionized atoms in the handle, and the handle's the bit that's, you got the bit that's a whole bunch of light, and then you have the handle, which is just kind of over here. It has much more radiation than the luminosity from the quasar, which they thought was weird. But the radiation is also diminished over time, and the quasar as a whole was thought to be fading. Nope. So, XMM Newton, that's X-ray Mike Newton, and Chandra X-ray Observatory data reveal that the X-rays are coming from an obscured central source. So there's this source that we can't see because it's behind stuff, and we can't just ask, you know, clouds of gas to just move out of the way so we can see them. This isn't like waiting for clouds to pass. So, yeah, there's an obscured central source which is emitting all of these X-rays, which means the quasar is still going. It's not really fading. So yeah, that's super cool. Plus I thought it was a pretty picture. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a pretty picture. So that's up with that. And next this is a picture of Venus. Hey, I know it doesn't look like what most people think Venus looks like. It's okay. Have a Cheerio. So, as I said, this is a picture of Venus. Yes, I know it looks a little weird. It's supposed to look a little weird. They just use different color. They just use color differently. This happens all the time. This is not an unusual thing. So we thought that Venus was a dead world. By dead world, I mean there's no geologic activity, none, nope, zip. So that's not the case. Surprise! But before we get to why we know that's not the case, so let's talk about how Venus is a little weird. So the surface is smooth on Venus, and that was explained away with some hand-waving and saying it was some catastrophic event in the past. Smooth surfaces means that the surface is being remolded, either through weather events or volcanoes, you know, something to essentially repave the surface. So think of a road that's full of potholes. That road is going to stay full of potholes, and we're going to ignore the fact that the potholes can get worse. But that road's going to stay full of potholes until the wonderful machine either comes by and grinds everything up and they lay down all new material, or they come in and they fill the potholes. So we're going to go with scenario number 1, where where the road surface is, you know, grinded up. This is for asphalt. I know it's different with like dirt and things, but the asphalt's ground up, and then they put down, you know, new, fresh, smooth asphalt, and then there's no potholes. So you can think of geologic activity like that. Like volcanoes are kind of doing the process of smoothing things out. Weather does the process of smoothing things out. It takes a while, but it happens. So, yeah. But we know Venus isn't dead. So the volcanoes are active, and there are over, wait for this, 1,600 volcanoes. We know they're active from the spikes in the volcanic gases in the atmosphere. So, every time a volcano goes off, it releases a bunch of stuff. This happens on Earth too. And we can actually see all of that stuff because it's kind of a unique signature. So, between the gases and the fact that they actually eject material and like lava flows, and I don't know how the lava flows on Venus are different from the ones on Earth, but lava flows on Earth can be kind of violent or slow. It just depends. But there is a way that they can keep track of the lava flows on Venus, of whether or not they've been weathered, and they use iron content for that. So, yeah, the iron content from the lava flows, also show that these flows haven't been weathered, which points to these flows being geologically recent. Geologically recent, I mean, that's like 250,000 years, but in geologic terms, it's recent. Different time scales, different things. So that's two things that they know, they can see that's happening, geologic processes going on. The third thing, this is really cool. Parts of the surface are actually on the move. Not like plate tectonics here on Earth, more like pack ice drifting across the surface. And it's not all of the surface, it's just selected random chunks. So something's happening that's making these specific parts of the surface move. And yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Venus isn't a dead world. It's got geologic things happening on it, which makes me happy. So, alright, on to our third story. So this is an image of globular cluster M22, Messier 22. And the thing that's kind of boxed out and highlighted is a nova. And nova is a hydrogen explosion on a star's surface that causes the star to brighten. So it gets really, really bright. So this is of note because they think of it as kind of a fossil. I know, Tinker, I'm getting there. So Chinese astronomers are amazing, and they've been keeping records going way far back, like actual written records that amazingly haven't been destroyed. So we know that, oh gosh, was it 8,000 years ago? We know that possibly 8,000 years ago, or in that general time frame, we're talking definitely more than 5,000 years, that a big flash happened in the sky, and it was recorded, and it was in the same position in the sky as this particular nova. So it's not as bright as it used to be. So a PhD astrophysics student, whose name I am going to slaughter in a second, Fabian Gottgens, I am so sorry, says the position and brightness of the remains match an entry from 48 BC. Okay, I was way off. 48 BC in an ancient collection of observations by Chinese astronomers. They probably saw the original nova in the same place. So aside from my dates being way off, the fact that we have written records from 48 BC to correspond with things that are happening now is not only amazing, but also goes to show that record keeping is awesome. So, yeah. But the Chinese do have a pretty rich record of record keeping for astronomical data, and it's pretty fascinating. So those are the stories I have. So I'm going to flip back over to Doggo View, and I'm going to do my best to answer your questions. I'm going to scroll way back up. And also, as a reminder, I am not an astronomer. My background is not in astronomy. I know enough astronomy to be dangerous, but we're fortunate to have Dr. Pamela in chat, and she's the astronomer. So feel free to tag both of us in a question, and if it's really, really, really astronomy related, Dr. Pamela will totally answer it, because I'll just be like, I don't know, that's a good question. Oh, Bits, somebody felt bad for you dogs. Thank you, Fenring. All right, so here's the Cheerios. Hey, Puck, speak. Come on, speak. All right, Puck says thank you. I say thank you. Here's the Cheerios, and make it rain. Okay, scroll up, scroll up. Okay. Wow, not a whole... Was I talking way too fast? I feel like I was talking way too fast. Quasar, have details with details. It looks like a coffee. It does look like a coffee cup of stars, Hanny. It really does. Astro YYZ says, I'm used to thinking of quasars that are dim and a long, long away. We can actually see some of them? Okay. And our instro said something about a probe. I have no idea. I don't remember where the image of Venus came from. I am so sorry, guys. And comments about, so for good roads, we need more volcanoes. Annie's asked, wouldn't it be weird? Hey, there was a sub. Lost Lady subscribed. Hey, Puck, can you speak? Come on, speak. Speak. Come on. All right, Puck says thank you. Here's the Cheerios and make it rain. All right. Hanny's asks, wouldn't it be weird for a planet the size of Earth to not be active at all? Mars makes sense, but Venus? Again, I don't know. And I saw a cheer, but they're not going to pay attention because they're too busy nomming on Cheerios. Hey, Puck. Hey, Puck. Can you... Puck. See? See? I can't even get his attention. Puck. 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 Tinker, can you speak? You're the loud one, and yet you don't speak on command. All right. Are you ready, Puck? Can you speak? All right, that's not happening. So anyways, thank you. Here's the Cheerios. And look at the turkey. Make it rain. Oh, they get so excited about this. I don't know enough about planetary geology to make comments about whether or not planets our size should be active. I really don't know. And I don't know when the Earth is supposed to stop being geologically active. I think it's going to take a long time for everything to kind of cool off and solidify, but there's also a lot of pressure, which makes things like make solids turn liquids, and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is Venus turning inside out like Io? I have no idea. I don't think so. I have to... Okay, no. I'm thinking of Europa as the water world. I don't know enough about Io and things of that nature. I am so sorry. Alright, so here's a question I might be able to answer. How far back do the Chinese astronomer keep records? Alright, let me pull out my handy dandy book without knocking over Cheerios. That's not going to happen. Let me just move the Cheerios. Alright, so I have this handy dandy book that's rare and out of print. And I know I've talked about it. So some of you guys, this is called Chinese Ancient Star Map. I know. Very creative name. I got to meet the author once. So it's also written in, I'm not sure if this is Cantonese or Mandarin. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Mandarin, but it could be Cantonese because this was written in Hong Kong. So this is the foreword. This is also a foreword. Okay. China was among the first nations in the world to foster development of astronomy. I'm looking. Hey! Alright, now that the dogs are stopping. So, meanwhile, star names relating to the 28 lunar mansions have appeared on oracle bones dating back to the Wu Ding period about 3,200 years ago. So, classification system before 433 BC. So, off the top of my head, that is about as best as an answer as I can give you. But I know they did keep records long enough to note that our pole star has changed, which I thought was fascinating. So, beggars can be Cheerios as long as what they choose is Cheerios, or beggars can be yeah. So that's the best I know for how long things were keeping records. And I did not watch the Dragon capsule arrive at the ISS. I think that arrived super early, and I did not wake up until, quite frankly, like 3 hours ago. Okay, so Raven Lillian asked, how long have we known what a quasar is? I don't know, and I'm looking to see if Pamela answered it, and she did not, as far as I can tell. So that is totally a question for Pamela. Thank you, Raven, for tagging us both. So I have no idea how long we've known what a quasar is. As far as Venus, Starstrider says, we used to think that Venus had pretty much flipped its surface with massive volcanism, which is that catastrophe. That is like stirring your really hot food to cool it off faster. Individual volcanoes like we have is more like poking holes to release the heat. If you stirred Venus enough, it could have become dead. Okay then. Io has a lot of individual volcanoes and is constantly getting heated by the flexure from its orbital interactions. That's terrifying. Oh, Miss Town, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you. So, Puck, can you speak for Walker? Puck, speak. Tell Walker thank you. Speak, come on. That was weak. Come on, speak. Alright, so here's the Cheerios. There's the dog. He says thank you, I say thank you, and make it rain! And there's some discussion about going on in all of about the volcanoes and tectonics and so on and so forth. So, okay, so as far as quasars being galaxies, we've known they're galaxies since the 80s. We've known that they are active galaxies since the late 1990s, which is honestly, in astronomy terms, kind of recent. And comments about why planets should be shaken, not stirred, and martinis, and so on and so forth. And yes, astronomy knowledge is constantly changing, so is biology. Chemistry, I think, is kind of stable. Physics is kind of stable. But the more we find out about our world, and by kind of stable for chemistry and physics, I mean stable at the kind of elementary, basic level. I'm not talking about the higher up things, because some of those things that just wrapping my brain around is difficult. So yeah. So somebody had asked, do my dogs sit by my computer and beg for Cheerios. No. They have associated the lights being on and me talking with Cheerios. So they don't freak out too much until I start talking. Which gets kind of awkward if it's late at night and I have one of my lights on, so I'm not sitting completely in the dark, and I might be playing video games with a voice. They'll freak out. For a little while, they'd freak out if I was just talking to my computer. But for the most part, they associate all the lights being on and me talking with Cheerios. So I'm okay with this arrangement. I'm okay with this arrangement. Yeah. Oh, now Miss Town's picking on Dr. Pamela. Now, Starstrider, you're going to have to say your name like James Bond on a stream. Gay. Pamela Gay. Doctor. Not picking? Okay. He says not picking. Okay. Fendering says, I was about to say, beware of MMOs. I actually do not play MMOs anymore, so that's safe. That's safe. And as Starstrider points out, that would sound like I was coming out of the closet, which, yeah. That can be tricky. I think I remember Dr. Pamela talking about trying to navigate a phone system, and they wanted her to say her last name on the phone system, so she's just sitting in the middle of the airport shouting gay. Yeah, that wouldn't be awkward or anything. Not awkward at all. So yeah, there's a reason why things are done the way they're done. And I am sorry if that was no... Hey, why are you fighting over Cheerios? Did he get greedy? Here. He got greedy. So yeah, I'm sorry if that was an overshare, but it is kind of funny. I don't see any other questions. My dogs are apparently starting to get vicious, which is never a good sign. There are more than enough Cheerios for both of them, and he's not usually food aggressive, so I'm gonna have to see what's going on with him. Add auto mod. Ranger Walker and Luke Skywalker thing growing up. Yeah, that's not too bad, Walker. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember it being, remember gay being a common first name for women. Oh my goodness. Had a colleague at work named Mr. Gay. Oh my goodness. So I remember I once told my mom that I really liked my name, because there have been times in my life where I could have changed my name and I could still potentially change my name in the future, but I really like my name. For starters, my first name, my legal first name, is not Annie. It's something longer and more complicated to spell. And my last name is Wilson. So my mother at least gave me one easy name. So yeah, one easy name that's common and things of that nature. So as much as I don't like my legal first name, I'm like, I can live with this, because they've always called me Annie since I was like real little. So yeah. Yeah, imagine growing up and learning that your name isn't really Annie. That's confusing. Anyways, Mythtown knows what my first name is. That's okay. Anyways, so I think we've ran out of news-ish stories. Dr. Pamela will be hosting tomorrow. I will be hosting on Wednesday and Friday. We're not sure about Thursday yet. We'll see. But yeah, Dr. Pamela will be hosting tomorrow. I have Wednesday and Friday right now, and things of that nature. So yeah. So if anybody has, I want to start doing the whole wind down thing. If anybody has anyone to suggest to raid, go ahead and suggest now. I'm going to pull up the Knowledge Fellowship Discord and look there. We are a member of the Knowledge Fellowship. It is indeed where I go to find people to raid if I'm not entirely too sure of somebody that we have to raid. It looks like Adam is active, as well as maybe Pixelogic Dev. But Adam's a good dude. So, did I say Fellowship? I meant to say Fellowship. There we go. So, as other things, also, there are too many windows. Way too many windows. So, as always, this has been a production of CosmoQuest, which, yeah, thanks for tuning in. We do Daily Space Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays, I stream myself colorizing space telescope data. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun. We stream rocket launches and special events if they're at a reasonable time of day. If it's really, 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 really early for Eastern or Central time, don't count on it. I mean, we love you guys, but we also love sleep. So don't count on it. I don't think there's a rocket launch for another couple weeks, so, you know, there's none of those to really worry about. I don't know if Dr. Pamela's keynote speech will be available to be streamed. If it is, I mean, we could stream it. Launch bingo. Yeah, no, not quite. Theoretically, we could watch it. Oh, yes, we could watch it. That would be cool. That would be super cool. What else? I am terrible at this. Oh, yeah, our host institution is PSI. That's Planetary Science Institute in Tucson, Arizona, working in collaboration with Youngstown State University here in Youngstown. Oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't rain again today. Youngstown, Ohio. We are brought to you by you, literally. So thank you for all of your donations, your pledges on Patreon, your merch purchases, your bits, your subscriptions. They all help. Really, they all help. I'm trying to think. If you can't afford to do any of that, we get it. It's totally okay. Follows are free. So yeah, come hang out with us during live streams. Come hang out with us in Discord. If you ever miss an episode, we archive them on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come hang out with us in Twitch. We're at twitch.tv/CosmoQuestX. Come hang out with us. It's fun. And I feel like that's everything. I feel like I'm missing something. So hello to all the people that have just dropped in. I'm wrapping things up, and yeah, we're gonna raid probably Adam. And there's Adam. I think that's all. So I'm gonna roll the credits. Yeah, DPI, you came in time for the outro. So I think he does look hopeful. Just for that. Oh, I heard something happen. Oh, thank you for the follow, Fozzie. Thank you. So here's the Cheerios. Puck is already busy because I felt bad. And make it rain. That way Tinker will get some too. So he won't speak if he's looking for Cheerios. We've tried this. So yeah, thank you for following. Thank you everybody today for tuning in and putting up with the little bit of craziness. And yeah, I think that's all. So I'm gonna roll the credits now, awkwardly, and tomorrow hopefully Dr. Pamela will feel better enough to not be a snot monster on stream, because that would be terrible. And yeah. So, bye! I will see you all on Wednesday. And credits.